Hey dudes, sorry about that failure. I'm just waiting for my PC to stop shitting itself. Christ's sakes. Send your music in the Discord. Links in the description for submitting your music. Okay, finally, let's go. Okay, so what I was saying about the song is I do like the composition, the melodies and stuff, really nice and warm and almost like Lane 80, I would say. Like that hopeful sound that he has. I think you've got that down pretty nicely. The only thing is I don't like the transition, and I think it's because of that noise sample that you use. And I think you also need like a little drum fill before the drums come in. Maybe just one of those toms. think what would work nicely for this transition is if you had like a little section where you just cut it out right at the end, right before it comes in. Maybe not like so silent. You know, you could probably make it a tiny bit smoother with like reverb or something. A short delay time. Decay time, sorry. Yeah, man, honestly, I don't have many complaints about this. It sounds good, I think. The mix is nicely balanced. I think probably get a bit more life out of it, just increasing, you know, just putting some like parallel saturation on all the elements and compressing it a bit more, and then obviously mastering it. And you could probably, get a fair bit more loudness out of it. But otherwise, nicely composed. I think the transitions could use a tiny bit of work, but otherwise good. I enjoyed it. Nice one. Okay, Discord is now shit the bed. Did I just see WoW on your desktop? You got me. Yeah, I play a little bit of classic WoW at the moment. I think I'm only like level. Well, I got 3 characters up to like level 20 because I keep playing with different friends. Oh my god. What is happening now? Am I gonna have to use Discord here? Okay. Next up is Marcelo. That snare doesn't fit the track very well, I don't think. Just don't like the... It feels like thin. Like the rest of the track is like already like low and mid-rangey, and then the clap comes in and it's like this thin white noisy clap or snare. Yeah, the balance between the sub and the high end is off. Like your high end is way louder than your sub. It should be, you know, I usually want the high end to be like a little bit quieter than the sub. So I would probably just turn down your hats and shakers and all of that. Here you can see like your mid-range peaking above your sub. Like I think your sub should always be the loudest part of your track. At the moment it's the quietest part of your track. I like the lead sound that you have here, it's quite nice. Not too sure about the progression though. I don't know, it just doesn't really do much for me. Although it does kind of fit the track because it's like descending and it's kind of dark. So like there's a bit of a lack of impact when this kick comes in. I think you need some sort of like a crash or something there. And definitely turning up your kick would probably help. The kick is so weak compared to everything else that you don't really like, needs to like punch you in the face. But it's not really doing that. I think most of the problem here is just mixing issues. Like definitely the kick is too quiet compared to everything else. And then you've got like this, I don't know what it is, a tom or something that's almost louder than the kick. I think you just need to try and rebalance everything and work on the mix down, and then also work on those transitions, because this one is like really underwhelming, where like I'm expecting it to be, you know, like this to be like the probably the most exciting part of the track, but it just doesn't really do that over there. And when we're hearing this part like soloed, or the kick in this, whatever that loop is, it's like a Foley loop or something, feels like it's like dragging behind. So like maybe just shifting that loop around, you could get it to groove nicely with the kick. Like if it's on its own separate track, go into the delays and like shift it backwards and forwards, and see if you can get it better timed. Thing working. Okay. Our tool. You need to fix that link. It's not working. Yeah, I'm going to go into the next one while you fix that. Forget about your drugs. Nice. Okay, so first of all, I think you have way too much reverb on everything. Like the reverb on the hat is like too long and the mix is too high. And same thing on that clap. I think that 16th note shaker or shaker hat, 16th note hat is a bit too loud. I'd probably say the hat, the main offbeat hat, is also a bit too loud at this point. Yeah, wow. That kick is like very rumbly. Like you can see it's like that area should have like almost nothing in it. But your kick is like thumping down there. It's a very weird kick, so I would find a new kick sample. And then your bass is like peaking above the kick, so like the balance is really off. Yeah, so definitely always make sure your kick is sitting like definitely above 30 hertz. I would say like the lowest I would have a kick go is like maybe 40 hertz. It sits nicely around like 45, 50. And then make sure your kick is the loudest, the sub of your kick is the loudest part of the track. And then if you have a mid bass like this, yours is peaking above the kick. If you have those harmonics over there, you should make sure they're a bit quieter than the kick. Yeah, that 16th note hat is not doing anything for the track. It's just, it's loud and it's not really contributing to the groove. So I would turn that down and like, I don't know. Maybe just try an entirely different hat loop. Just look through sample packs and try and drag in a bunch of hat loops until one feels like, you know, it's making the track groove nicely. Because at the moment it's not really contributing to the groove and it's really loud, so it's like the only thing I can focus on. The resonance on your filter, I think, needs to come down a bit. It's kind of almost like cheesy the way it's so high, like very, I don't know, 1990s, 1980s style resonance. And I'm not sure it also needs that like ping pong delay on it. I mean, if your goal is to make like modern melodic house, then these are the tips I'm giving you. But if you like the sound of it, by all means, keep it. Can I submit a song I'm working on called Cascade for feedback? No, don't. I don't want to hear that song. It's shit. You need to redo the mix. I think you're mixing too hard into your limiter too, because it's like you can almost hear the synths struggling to, you know, get room in the track. As soon as like an element disappears, another element gets louder, and that's because everything's going too hard into the limiter. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you have a lot of things to work on with this track. Mostly the mixdown stuff. I would remove all your limiters and stuff that you have on your master, and then just try and rebalance stuff the way I said, you know, with your kick being the loudest part of the track. Probably replace that kick sample too with something else. Maybe rip a kick from another track that you like. And then just work on getting that balance. Like reference another track and see how it's balanced. Like listen to how loud their kick is, listen to how loud their hats are by looking at like a spectrum, like span. Check span and see, oh, their kick is sitting up here at 50 hertz at this volume, and then turn your kick up that loud, and then look at their hats. Then try and match the volume on your hats, look at where the synths are sitting, then try and match that volume, etc. Just use your reference tracks, and then it should make your mixing a whole lot easier. Alright. Next up is our tool. still not working. Oh, did he send it at the bottom? There we go. Clouds brought the rain and the sun that's brought the shade. No, we're never gonna be the same. And it's only gonna get away. No, we're never gonna be the same. You know it, but something's gone. You know it, but something's wrong. No, we're never gonna be the same. I think that the effects in there are too loud, like that, especially that sweep was really loud. It feels like, again, like this track doesn't look like it's being limited, but it feels like it's being limited really hard. It's only gonna get. And I think the reverb is too, like the mix on the reverb is too high on the vocals. Away. No, we're never gonna be the same. You know it, but something's gone. You know it, but something's wrong. No, we're never gonna be the same. The balance between the kick and the sub feels a bit off in this too. Like there feels like the sub of the synth sub is louder than the kick sub, so I can't really feel the kick punching. So I think the melody is like quite nice in this. Vocals aren't bad, but I think they just need to be processed better. Like less reverb on them, and they're almost like a bit too thin, I think. Like they've been too high passed. Maybe open that up and then just try and get the mix down like bit more dynamic. It feels like it's being really limited on the master, so less limiting on the master and like more controlled. So just Probably less processing all around would make it sound better. Cool. LVXX. Oh, wait. We've done forget about your drugs. Okay, Crives. Just by the way, I'm only going until 4:45 today. You just want to know if it. You just wanted to know if I think it has potential. I mean, it doesn't like. Yeah, it doesn't like move me yet. But I think, before you ask for feedback, before anybody asks for feedback, they should always get it like mixed as nicely as possible, because a good mix can make, a track really like come to life. Especially like when you're working with vocals and they're like raw vocals that somebody's recorded. Often vocals, it's very rare that they sound great right off the bat. Like you have to tune them and time them nicely and then compress them and EQ them and then treat them and I don't know, maybe throw in some effects and stuff and then they sound great. But I mean, it's happened to me before where I've gotten a vocal that it sounds okay and then we work on it for ages and it sounds really good. But I think like the melodies, they were okay. Nothing really like jumped out as amazing to me. I'm just trying to be honest here. But I would always suggest before you show something to somebody, get it sounding as good as you can, because you might think it has potential, but they won't see that until you get it sounding how you imagined it should sound. And that's like something like lots of beginners have a problem with, and I had that problem too. Like when I first made my first few tracks, I was like, I thought they had potential, but obviously when I showed them to people, they were like, this is crap, because I didn't take the hours of polishing that it needed to get it sounding good. So always when you send a track to somebody for feedback, or you're sending it to a label or something, always make sure it sounds literally as good as you can get it sounding. Like even now, if I have like a nice loop going that I think sounds good and I'm like dying to send it to my friends, I won't do that. I'll make sure that I like finish it as good as possible before I send it to them. That way, like they're hearing the best version of the track and they're not giving me any feedback that I would have done anyway. It's like a waste of time. If you know that the mix is bad and then you send it to somebody and they tell you the mix is bad, what's the point of that? And in saying that, like, polishing is not everything though. Like you can't polish a turd, so to say. Can't take a shit song and make it sound good, by mixing it well. If it's shit, it's shit. And in the case of your track, I don't think it is shit. I just, I don't know, it's like, it's okay for me. Sorry, I don't mean to like be rude if I sound rude. I'm just trying to help. Okay, anyway, enough rambling. Did I download this? It's just me. My Love Master. Nice one.
it's just me. It's just me.
I think mostly what I don't like about this is the kick. It's probably got a bit too much of that range over there. Like if you remove some of that. I think the kick might sit a bit better. But yeah, the groove is quite good. Got some cool little sounds in there and stuff. It's not really my style of track. Like, it's not something I would listen to or I would make. But there's definitely some sort of a market for this kind of stuff. This melody that just came in feels like it's playing a different key, maybe like the relative major or something, but it doesn't feel like it's really fits the bass melody. Right, cool. Yeah, so not really my style of what I would listen to or produce, but I think for the most part, like the mix sounds pretty good, the structure's good. I just don't really like the kick. And that melody feels like it's in a different key. Okay. What is that? Thuvmos? Thuvmos? Thamos? Thamos? While this is downloading, I'm going to check the surf report. Okay. Very quiet intro. Not a fan of that hat. The main hat sounds almost like a hammer hitting a nail or something. Like it's very thick and metallic. So I would change that sample, and then that 16th hat kind of is just sitting behind it, not really adding to the groove much. Yeah, that hat is too loud and full. It's like taking over the whole track, and then the kick is really like underwhelming and quiet. And the track's like clipping. That peak is like really loud too. Damn. main problem with this tune is that just the drum sounds that you've chosen just don't really work together. So I think you should find a new hat, new kick, new 16th note hat. Try and figure out a groove that works nicely. Otherwise, like the atmosphere, or sorry, the harmony of it is okay. I mean, yeah, it's not really doing much for me personally, but nothing sounds like it's wrong. So yeah, most of the problems I'm hearing here is also just the mix is unbalanced. So yeah, so I've already been over the hats. The hats are too loud. Kick is a bit too quiet. The bass is peaking. The low mid bass is peaking over the sub. So it's kind of like making everything a bit muddy. And then you've got like a bunch of mid-range instruments that are like pretty much competing with each other. So I don't know which is the focus of the track, like which melody am I supposed to be focusing on. Yeah, it just needs to be rebalanced, and you need to find new drum samples, I think. see. It's probably going to be the last one because I have to go in 10 minutes. Damn, that looks quiet. I don't like the transient on the kick. The sub is okay, but the click is like, the pitch sweep on it is too much. I like the sound of this section. I think the melody in the background is nice. I think like that's what I would probably do to this kick to make it fit this mix a bit better. Like cut out that much high end because it's just so harsh. It's like, feels like it's giving me a headache. So I would never do that with a bass line like this, where it's like the filter's open and it's sustained like one. How do I describe this? Like, let me just quickly do this. So at the moment yours is like, I would never sustain a bass like that. It's just, it starts to take up the whole mix and it kind of gets tiring to the ear. I would always put an envelope on that at least, and just have the beginning of the sound open and then like bring it down to like almost just sub. Yeah, so I think like these quiet sections that have no drums in them are the best sounding sections in there. So at least you know that you've got like some nice harmonies and progressions and melodies going here. It's mostly just the drum sounds that you're using that I don't like. Yeah. So unfortunately that's all I have time for today. Wish I could get through all of these, but I can't. Thanks for tuning in. I'm having a baby next week, Thursday, so there'll be no stream on Friday. And there'll probably be no stream the following Friday either. Probably gonna have like a whole week off. But I will try and do another stream maybe on Wednesday, the day before. Just so we can get some content out there. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. And yeah, see you when I see ya.